Hello and welcome to the Island Podcast. You have your typical host with you, Ivan. Unfortunately, Bruno is not with us today, but with me we have a very special guest, Beryl Gastaldello from the LA Current. Beryl, hello, and thank you so much for making it to this podcast.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Beryl, to start things off, tell us, where are you and what are you doing right now? I know you're in US, somewhere in US right now. Are you training? How's the quarantine?
Where am I? I don't even know myself. No, just kidding. So I'm in Texas, USA, and I train at Texas A&M University with the guys team because I'm not allowed to train with the team. So I'm training with two other teammates. That's about it. Yeah, I'm just here training. At least we're able to train now because for the longest time we were not able to. Then we only had a 50-minute time slot before the ISL. And since last week, we're able to train in the big pool, 9 to 11 a.m. every morning. It's pretty nice. We don't have to sign up anymore. So that's pretty cool. So that's what's going on.
Okay. Beryl, do you only train with guys? Do you have female training partners, or is it just guys?
So it's just guys, but there's another girl on the team with me. But she swims IM and breaststroke, just like the other pros. All the other pros swim IM and breaststroke. So I train alone. I mean,
Okay.
not alone, I'm with them, but I do my sets by myself. So
is it difficult for you at all? I know you had an experience with a team previously. Would you prefer the individual training?
No, I mean, I really like training with people. Like, I like having a team, but this is what I have right now and I cannot change it. And I'm happy to have my coaches on deck, Jason and Jay. I'm happy to have a pool, and I'm happy to have other pros as well, to have people to warm up, a little bit of a kick set. So it's nice and it's very individualized. I really like that. And then 9 a.m. is amazing. Able to sleep in. It really changes the game. So I can't really complain, I like it.
But it's nice to have someone to social kick with, right?
Yeah, exactly. I do kick I kick pretty fast. Even at warm up, I'm just a fast kicker, but so I have to slow down if I want a social kick, and I don't really warm up. So it's a choice,
Okay, fair enough. You're not a social kicker, I get it.
I like it. It doesn't warm me up.
Okay. It's more of a warm down in my perspective, but yeah. Beryl, I have a question to you. So a lot of the swimmers that came to the ISL had a very difficult journey coming into the ISL, and that showed in their results. People like Caleb Dressel managed to drop almost 3 seconds in the course of the season in their hundreds, which is insane. But for you, it seems like you came in ISL quite in shape and you were shining straight away. Beryl, could you shed the light on what you were doing before the ISL? And did you have any COVID problems at all? Because it seemed like you were on a mission to succeed in the ISL starting like April.
Well, that's nice of you, but the struggle was real. Let me tell you something. I don't know what other people did, but what I did is that I just did the best with what I had. We couldn't swim for months, so I went into a friend's backyard pool. I was only able to swim like 4 strokes before I had to flip turn. That's what I did every single day. For 1 hour, I was forcing myself 5 days a week, or 4 or 5 days a week, to get into that pool, to keep the feeling with the water. And then the gym were closed, just like everyone else. I just had nothing, or most of the people. But I have a friend that has a CrossFit gym in his garage, so I was able to keep lifting the whole time, though. So I just made it happen. And mentally as well, I've had to deal with a lot of things in my young age, I say, because I'm just 25. And I think that really helped me also get through this difficult times, because, when you have more experience, it's just you have more tools. And I was able to use some of that. And so stay positive, stay motivated. And my coach, so Jason, he talked about it's all about passion. It came down to passion. That's what it's just, you don't have any meets to look forward to. You don't really have anyone around you. It's complicated. It's all about being passionate. And I just love swimming. I love that sport. So that's what it came down to. It was right.
Fair enough. Yeah, thank you.
Oops.
And did you? No worries, Beryl.
It's
Did
like
you have? Did you have any motivation issues when you got the news last year, 2020, when the Olympics were canceled? Because I believe you were a member of the Olympic team in 2016, so you already had that experience a little bit. How much of a strike to your swimming motivation was it to discover that the Olympics are canceled back in 2020?
uh, like I said, I was pretty laid back about everything that was happening, trying to not put my head into it too much, try to take a step back, breathe, and just think about it slowly, not panic. Um, for me, I try to not think about it too much. I was like, this is what's going on. We don't have a choice. What's next? That's really what I was focusing on. But at the end of the day, I was trying to look at the positive side of things instead of, the tendency would be to look at everything negative. But I try, and that's why I work on every day, is to look at the different perspectives and to look at the positive side of things
Mm-hmm.
rather the negative side. And so I was thinking, well, it gives me one more year to get ready. It gives me the opportunity to learn more about myself. And it's like that's exactly what happened. So I wasn't sure about the ISL, but I don't know Constantine very well. Uh, but looking at how he does things and everything, I was pretty sure he was gonna make it happen because he seemed like someone pretty stubborn in the good way. He doesn't give up. So I was very excited when I learned that the ISL was gonna just still take place. And then in my head, I was like, okay, you can think about the ISL and get ready for that. So I
Mm-hmm.
wasn't too, I just looked at what was next, when I heard the news.
Fair enough. And yeah,
Yeah.
as an ISL official, let me tell you this: organizing everything in Budapest was not easy for Constantine, and it is a testament to his stoicism in a way. But
Exactly.
Beryl, tell me the following. I mean, it seemed like you were quite convinced that the ISL was going to happen, but did you have any health concerns at all? Like, were you concerned about the bubble protocols? Were you concerned about the fact that, I mean, Budapest is a little bit of a third world European country. Nothing against Budapest, but when compared to, for example, France and US, do you have any health concerns?
To be honest, no. For me, if this event could take place, it means that everything was backed up. That makes sense. And
Mm-hmm.
so there's no way this event could have taken place with that many people without things being well organized, safe. So I wasn't concerned. I know a lot of people were. I have bigger problems in my life, so I try to not get concerned about things that I don't control. But that's for sure. I mean, for me, it was not even a question. I was gonna go for sure. And I mean, as planned, it went very well. All the protocol were followed by everyone. It was very well organized. So, I mean, I knew it was going to happen like that. So I'm pretty excited.
Oh yeah.
Confirming my beliefs.
And Beryl, you were quite confident before coming into the SL. What about looking into Olympic Games Tokyo 2021? Do you have any health concerns? Because you have to consider, I mean, ISL bubble was only for about 400 people. And the Olympic bubble, if they decide to go ahead and do the bubble, is going to be thousands and thousands of people. That could be quite challenging. Do you have any health concerns going into the Olympics?
I mean, I can't say I have health concerns because once again, I try to not. I haven't thought about it, to be honest. I just haven't thought about it because for me, if it's happening once again, it's because they put everything in place. They made sure like we'll be as safe as possible. I am guessing that we all gonna have to get the COVID shot, but I don't know. I'm just guessing that something else that is probably gonna happen in order for everyone to be safe.
When you say
That
COVID shot, you mean the vaccine?
Yeah, the vaccine. Sorry, COVID vaccine. I don't know. I'm not a medium. I don't
Mm-hmm.
really look at. I don't look at media much. I don't read articles much about everything. I'm just trying to stay in my own bubble with good vibes. But I have to like still keep myself a bit informed. So I'm not too concerned. If it's happening, it's because they can make it happen safely, and if it's not, it's because they can't. As simple as it is. And then I will just move on to what's next again.
Fair enough. And Beryl, you mentioned the COVID shot, the vaccine. If the Olympic Games arrive at a decision that all the athletes must vaccinate before going to the Olympic Games, would you be fine vaccinating?
Well, if I don't have a choice, I will. But I'm not for vaccines. Then I had to get two already for something else. I'm not. I mean, I like natural stuff. Even I mean, we can already get on that debate. A lot of people will disagree. Some people will agree with me. I'm just not a pro vaccination vaccines. But
It
if I don't have
seems
a choice for the safety of everyone, obviously I will get the COVID vaccine.
Yeah. It seems almost a little bit discriminatory to sort of limit the availabilities in life for people who didn't vaccinate versus for people who did. I think that's a big debate that's going on right now, right? For example, if you're concerned about your health, but you still want to go to the Olympic Games and you don't want to vaccinate because the vaccine is out for a very short period of time, you don't really have a choice, right?
Exactly. That thought came to my mind, and I just decided to not think about it too much, not stay on it, because it's not the greatest news for me. But we'll see. I'm just waiting and see what's going to happen. Try to relax in the meantime and take care of what I can control.
Of
That's the
course,
main thing.
it makes sense. Beryl, as far as
You
I'm
have many
concerned,
questions. Come on, bring them all.
you are one of the swimmers that had made the leap of. Okay, let me rephrase this question. In swimming, there has been a culture for a long time that strength and conditioning in general isn't as important as swimming itself. And I believe you're one of the first swimmers that actually made the leap from balancing out swimming workouts with a lot of strength and conditioning. Can you open up a little bit on how this happened? And am I correct at all that strength and conditioning is a huge part of your performance?
Yes, you're right. I think, well, it's once again it's a bit difficult because it all depends of like the mentalities. Some people are more old game, new game. So for me, I think it's important to balance things out, and I think we don't all have to swim as much as we have in that swimming world. Like the mentality of you have to do quite a few amount of yardage and minimum 5K twice a day. You have to do doubles, 9-10 practices a week. I don't agree. And COVID actually was a way for me to, well, I already knew it deep down inside, but to prove to myself, my coaches, everything, that things could work out differently. But before that, yes, I've always loved going to the gym, getting stronger. I'm pretty explosive, and I'm pretty strong for a swimmer. But as soon as you take the swimmer word out of that, I am not strong compared to normal people at the gym, and it's very funny. Um, and I believe it's for me. It's a good. I just want a good routine. I have a coach that does also my, let's say, is some sort of a PT. I do all the stretching. I'll do my official, take care of my joints at the gym. So I do all of that at the gym. So it's not just going and lifting. It's I go and I stretch. I do specific reinforcement drills. So some sort of PT sessions. Then I lift. Then I relax. I do everything at the gym, and it takes quite a lot of time. Like let's say minimum 2 hours, 3 to 4 hours. It can be a session. So, and on the other side, now I'm only swimming 6 times a week, around an hour and a half in the morning. That's what I'm getting in the pool, and it seems to be working pretty well for me. So that's just different way to see things, and it's like everything, to get the best performance possible is just like cooking. There's different recipes, so that's what I like to make that analogy. So I believe this works for me, and the main thing, it makes me happy. I like what I'm doing, and so that already makes, let's say, 70% of the job.
Yeah,
Loving what you do, and I have trust in my coaches. I have trust in what I'm doing. This is something new for me as well, and I think that's making a big difference compared to before.
makes sense. Thank you, Beryl. And I believe
Yeah.
it also, I don't know if it works the same for you, but in my long past swimming days, gym was great because you could focus on your improvement in the gym, or maybe even your regress without directly connecting it to your swimming
Yeah.
performance. It's like a way to relax your brain almost. Is it the same for you?
That's a great point like you're bringing here, because I realized, as a high level athlete, when you have a practice that is not very good, it does impact your day and your mindset, everything, quite a lot, and it's just a practice. So it's important to be able to step back, but step away from that. But what helps is to have something else on the side. For some people, it's studying, or some sort of hobbies, music. So I think that's very healthy to have something else, at least one other thing in your life, to be able to balance things out. Because if it doesn't go well in the pool, for example, the gym, you can go to the gym and this is a whole new shot. So like a new day, new everything. You just forget about everything that happened and try to make things better with that other thing. So, and what I really like at the gym, so I have other stuff. I love to go on walks. I take care of my dogs. I'm really into seeing friends and sharing moments. That's big for me. It's very important to share great quality times. And I also love going to the gym because you can talk a lot. I'm very talkative, as you can see. I like to make jokes. I'm very sarcastic with my coach. I spend a great time there. And sometimes, I come in, I'm not in the best mood ever. I try to not show it. And every time I get out of the gym, I'm just pumped.
Hmm.
I'm always in a just great state of mind after that. Lifting really helps as well, like you secrete those hormones and everything. But it's just different and it takes your mind out of swimming. Because being in the pool is good, but there's a lot more in life.
For sure.
Yeah.
No, getting these endorphins into your blood, it
Yeah.
helps quite a bit. I agree with you. Beryl,
Something with
one more.
lifting heavy things, I don't know
Exactly.
what it is. For you, heavy for you, might not be heavy in general, but with your abilities, I don't know. I find that
Yeah,
fascinating.
like a maximum push. By the way, do you do like 12 repetitions around, 3 repetitions around, 5 repetitions around, one max, or do you alternate?
So I have different. It depends which cycle I'm on, but it alternates. It can be singles, doubles, triples, 4, 5 for more like front squat, back squat. Not much more than that. Or it
Okay.
will be for small exercises. Or just kettlebell swings or whatever I do. Good mornings. I can go 20, 30. Depends. Rhomboids. So, but for men lift, now I don't really go higher than 5 reps.
Mm-hmm. Talking about these, I mean, 5 lifts is, you probably have a decent amount of weight on you for these 5 lifts for you.
With five
There's
repetitions, but it
five
can be
repetitions.
for the rounds. Let's say sometimes it's 3 to 4, 4 to 6. For singles, it's 6 to 9. It depends,
Okay.
It changes a lot, but yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Makes sense. Um, in swimming, there's a bit of a controversy and a bit of a dilemma whether lifting heavy weights, yes, for sure, it makes you stronger. There's no doubt. But I've heard a lot of swim coaches say that lifting heavy actually ruins your mysterious connection with the water. Some coaches believe in the feeling of the water and the connection with the water of a swimmer, some don't. But it tends that people who do believe in this connection with the water, the feeling of the water, they say that the maximum lifts deteriorate that feeling. You become less sensitive in a way in the water, if you understand what I mean. And I was just
Of course.
wondering,
You're talking to
would you,
the one of the most sensitive person on earth in here. No,
there you
there's
go.
more than me, but as always,
So
So I can't disagree with that, but I don't do max lifts at all. Like I don't go for a single like PR. If I PR, sometimes it's when I do lift 2 3 repetitions, and it's not all the time that I PR. But personally, I've not noticed that. I do lift, so I swim in the morning and I lift 3 times a week at night. So in the evening, I have I have, let's say, 6 hours in between, around 6 hours, the 5 6 hours to rest. Um, but I remember back in the days when I will lift and then swim after, I will love that feeling. I feel like you feel stronger, you have more, you push more, or you feel like the water under your hand is heavier in a way, more dense. So that's the feeling I had. But I mean, I think obviously you break down a lot of muscle, when you swim, and you break down a lot of muscle as well when you lift. So depending of it's complicated because it depends of what you do in the water, what you do in the gym. If you have two different coaches, they don't communicate, it just doesn't go very well. Because if you're exhausted from swimming a lot of yardage and then you try and do an explosive workout at the gym, it doesn't really go together. That makes sense. So I
Mhm.
think if you find let's say a program, and you're able to put things together, and like, for example, when I swim more yardage or more aerobic practices, I do dry land. My dry land has no cardio. It's all small exercises, small drills to reinforce my little muscle here and there. So it's nothing very costly, I'll say. And then in days when we do more maybe pace work, or 100 pace, sometimes 200 pace. I do quite a lot of that, by the way. So I could swim at 200, I guess. But then I lift. So it's more like a power workout. It goes together. For me, it's been working out pretty well. I believe there's many different ways to do it. I'm not a weightlifting coach. I'm not a swimming coach. I'm just a high level athlete here, hanging there.
All right.
So,
Wait, that is a lot of new information coming from you. So we're about to see 200s from you in the next season of
uh,
ISL.
I wish I had swum 203 or 200 IM. But the thing is, it's been many years. I've actually never really swum 200s. So when I swim a 200, it costs me a lot. It takes 2 3 days to recover from that. So I mean, at least it used to. So I couldn't take the risk to ask and move someone from my team out of a 200, maybe the best event for me to just try things out and not be able to maybe be at my best after to support the team as much as I could. So I could not do it. But I really wish at least 203. I
Mhm.
think I was in a great shape to do something cool. But I've not done it. So with ifs, you can remake the world. So maybe I've not have done anything crazy. I
Yeah.
don't know.
It's interesting. There's a very low percentage of sprinters like yourself. Another person I can think of is actually Flo Manadou, that are really pure sprinters. I mean, you can disagree with me on that, but I believe the 50 and the 100 is your for sure specialty. But some people like yourself and Manadou have the ability to swim the 200 freestyle. I know Manadou has been something like a 144 low long course meters, which is insane. But he decides not to do it because he says the recovery time is too long after that. It takes his body days to recover from a 200 freestyle. Is it much of the same for you?
But like I said, in my experience, the rare times I swam with 200, especially, I mean, long course mainly, yes. In the morning, I could do something like decent, and at night, I really felt the difference. I was like, wow, I gave a lot more than I thought, even though some reason I think I never was able to swim a 200 all out, because I always end up sprinting the last 50 meters because I realized that I have a lot more in me. So obviously, I don't know how to swim a 200 yet.
Mm.
But um, so I think it's all about training. The body for the people. I mean, I've never swum 200s even when I was younger, so I'm not used to pass a minute.
Hmm.
I'm not used to swim more than a minute all out. So when you swim 2 minutes, it's double that time. So obviously, it takes a toll on your body because the body doesn't know what's going on. Instead, all even inside in all the systems, like everything that's happening in the body is just confused, I guess. it's all about training. And I've been doing a lot of 200 pace at practice. And I think because also I want to get better at the 200, um, it's all about willpower first and also training. And with this combination, you can do a lot. And I believe this is going to get better for me because I
Okay.
decide for it to get better. That makes sense. So if you train for it, and basically I will have to not force myself, but try to, when we can swim at meets, swim more 200s here and there. Because
Mhm.
the more I'm gonna train my body, I'm gonna show my body that this is happening. You gotta get used to swim 2 minutes, under 2 minutes, hopefully for the 2 free. Then I think you just adjust, you just adapt, right? So it's all
No,
about
it makes total sense. But an
training.
interesting thing for you, so you're training for the 200 and doing 200 piece to get better at the 200, not just to finish your 100 at the last 25, right?
I'm guessing it's also to finish my
Okay.
100 better. I don't really, so I'm someone that really, I tend to think a lot. And what I found is really working for me is that with Jason, because he's such an artist, um, I don't really, it's better for me to not and try to think a lot or figure out what's going on, why I'm doing this and that. So it's a weird position for me, but I just trust him. And if he makes me do 200 pace, there's the reason. So I'm doing it, even if sometimes I would be like, why am I doing 200 pace? uh,
Understandable.
yeah, nah, it's for both. I mean, it goes both ways, right? You
For sure.
finish better or you get a better 200.
Yeah, but the difference is really the motivation and just getting your confirmation that you do want to get better at the 200. It's quite a lot
Yeah.
already, because I, I'm probably speaking from the point of view of a lot of fans. It would be so interesting to see on the 200 freestyle and the 2 IM. It would
2
be a,
a.m. I know a lot of people. Okay, let me tell you something. Trust me, not every day. So, something that people don't know that is very perturbating for me because my grandmother was a breaststroker, my dad was a breaststroker, and I swear I've never been taught how to swim breaststroke. From age 6, I think I was doing something the opposite with my leg. They completely gave up. I never swam 125-meter breaststroke at practice until when I came a little bit, when I went in Nice when I was 14, when we were doing a bit of IM here and there. But I had to figure it myself. And in college, still boot Matt, my coach that I had before, coach of the girls, the women's team at A&M, is a great breaststroke coach, and IM obviously. But we didn't have time to try and teach me anything. So I couldn't do much here like there. And now I try to understand it better. I will ask my friends like Will, Lincoln, or people, even Lily last time I asked, Lily King. I'm just asking for some tips, to try and get better. Because, so going back to the 2 IM, that's the problem. If you take my fly back free, it's amazing. And then I think I go 41 in the 50 breast. The best go 36, 37. So that's 5 seconds there. My best is 215. You go 210, you're already like a bit more competitive. And then you train for the 200 IM, and obviously things go down, but it's not that easy. If you take 50, if you take the 200 IM 50 by 50, obviously you're like, oh, I could go 205, but it's not happening like that, right? But that's the problem for IM. I was able to pull it off in the 100 IM short course, which I was super excited about. My pull out was long enough, I guess, to save me out there. And maybe the fact that I'm trying to get better at breaststroke. I thought the 2 free will be a bit more easy for me to get better at because I can swim freestyle. That's something I figured that out. But
oh, for
breaststroke is in
sure.
progress, in process, I guess, and in
Yeah.
progress. So
I
yeah.
feel like everyone figured out that you can swim freestyle by now. That is for sure confirmed. But yeah, breaststroke seems, it's kind of a weird stroke, isn't it? It's done very different from other strokes. And it's very interesting to hear that both of your parents were breaststrokers.
Yeah, my grandmother and my dad. Wow, I mean, you have the genes and everything, but this is skills that you learn. So it's
Yeah.
completely different. I'm saying it's just funny to say that because Obviously, if there's some kind of gene, I did not get it. uh, it's frustrating for me. I'm trying to get better at that. So that's a little challenge that I have. No one really believe I can go under 110 in the 100 breaststroke long course. I can be 109.99, but one day I'm gonna do it, and I cannot finish my career without doing that. Yeah, I say it on the podcast. I'll not really have to do it. And then the 400 I want to be in like in the 440s or something. Can be 440. I went 453 like 7 years ago. So I'm not. So to go back to what you said earlier, I don't think I'm a pure sprinter, to be honest. I think um, I would be more of a 200, person at first, but I'm a sprinter. I'm 100. Like I assume like the 100, but I'm not a real sprinter because real sprinter they swim the 15, the 100, and they can only swim it like one or two events a day. They completely die. That's the real sprinter for me. And the ISL proved to me that I was able to accumulate racing a lot. So that's like a distance sprinter. If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, Beryl, I believe now we'll have to potentially speak to Jason and get him to purposefully deteriorate your breaststroke. So we get you to stick around for another 30 years or so before you swim under 110.
I don't think it's going to take that long, I don't think it will. You'll be surprised.
I'm sure it won't.
I mean, we'll see. That's a little challenge of mine. I don't mind if people think I will or will not do it in a way. It's just something I have. It's just something that I did to me
Don't
and
get
myself.
me wrong. I for sure think you can do it. I just want you to not quit swimming for another 30 years if you're not able to.
Okay.
It's a win-win from both sides. But yeah, we should make the swim off in the next ISL. Beryl's 100 breaststroke.
It has to be long course though. It's long course.
Hey, we can make it long course. No problem.
That would be fun. That would be very fun. That would be super fun.
Bro,
I don't want to be next to Lily or people like that,
Okay. Maybe we'll get Sergey Shevtsov to do it with you. He did 100 breaststroke for Energy Standard, and you guys might be competitive. But Beryl, you mentioned that you're not really a true sprinter. You specialize more in the 100, and you can do multiple events a day, unlike the true sprinters that can do only the 50 and 100, and they need a lot of rest. Beryl, have you ever measured your lactate during training? And if it's not a secret, how high does it raise? And are you good at flushing it out?
So there's no secret out there. I'm not doing any of that. So that's something I would like to incorporate into my training time to time. Just a little bit more of science side. I've been talking about it to Jason, and we're gonna make that happen soon. So at the moment, I've never really done anything like that. I've done the Albrecht testing years ago, like 7 years ago or 5 years ago, when I was
back.
The
400, 200, 100?
Yeah. I don't remember the results. It was just like more some sort of program for the coach to wherever he wants you to work at. So you have a time, like he knows you have to be between like 110, 111 for V1 or speed one, whatever. So it's more like for the it really helps the coach. But yeah, that's something I want to incorporate. So it's funny that you're bringing that up. If Jason is listening, I even told him today again or yesterday. When are we starting to do that? So yeah, here and there. But I'm realizing that with the way I am, I need a bit of that. It would be really nice for me, but not too much. I don't need. It's good to have an idea of what time here and there, but I have to be also very flexible. I have two sides of me. I have that person that really wants to like control things a lot, and I have the person that needs to be very flexible and chill. So it's a bit confusing. I go with intuition. I don't have a choice. So we'll see what I do with that, but I want to try.
Greatly talented people are all complicated in a certain matter.
Yeah. Goal is a simple life, but it's not the case yet.
For sure. Beryl, diving into the season itself, LA Current. You guys did
Best team.
You guys did great. You made it to the final,
Yeah.
which is a lot more than a majority of the teams. But you guys failed to beat the leaders like Energy Standard and Cali Condors. How would you analyze the performance of your team in general? Were you happy with it? Was the team happy with it? Would you change anything about the season if you could?
So that's a tough question. The last one, change anything about the season if you could, because it's hard to be like with ifs once again. We, for example, we had Caitlin Baker couldn't come for personal reasons, health reasons, and she is a big player. So if she would have been there, maybe things would have been a bit different. Sometimes one person can change the game, but I don't regret anything. Actually, this season was unbelievable. I mean, obviously people say I'm biased, but I don't. I mean, I've seen other teams like there's a lot of like great spirits, everything. But concerning my team, the Liquorants, I'm super proud of what people did, the way people stepped up, improved each match, and mainly was the mentality, like being positive, like encouraging, supporting like each other all the time, smile, enjoy the moments. I mean, they've done such a great job. I was so happy. I couldn't, express it more. So proud to be captain of a team like that. And I mean, I think people felt that, you cannot fake things like that. If you're a unit, you're a unit and you grow like that. If you're not, you can feel it. So I'm super happy that I was part of a team like that and super proud of what people did. And we got better, like I said, each meet. Um, First place is what we got. It's not a shame for me. Uh, Things could have been better, of course, but we did a great job of what we had, I believe. And the staff was very amazing as well. People like David March and his wife, or the coaches making all those adjustments, try to figure out the best strategies. Who swims what, in order for the team to get the most points possible with the rules and those jackpots and everything. So it's super exciting because there's the swimmers, but the staff and people that give you massages and everything is takes such a big place in the ISL. That's what I really like, is that it incorporates a lot of people into the performance. I mean, there's always a lot of people, but let's say it gives them more of like a touch. I don't know how you
Mm-hmm.
said that, they of input. Wow. Yeah, that was a
No,
long answer, but you get the point. No, I would not have changed anything.
yeah,
But yeah,
and you're happy about how the team did. I get it. Um,
super happy,
Hell yeah.
super happy.
Beryl, I'm really glad that you mentioned the unity of the team because that is something I saw as a spectator, and I believe everyone saw. And this is a huge testament to you as a team captain, I believe. But could you open up how did you guys achieve this unity? Did you do any events outside of the pool together? Maybe some icebreakers? Maybe it was something you guys did in the pool. Can you open up?
Yep, I'm super proud to say that I didn't have to do anything. That's the crazy thing, and we actually, as a team, talked about that. It sounds like all crazy good, positive, but that's what it was. I have to say what it is. Like, yeah, it just was very natural. And I think what really helped, and this year, is one single word that is very important to me. It is diversity. We had a lot more diversity in the team. The Brazilians, um, Argentine, like France. So many people from different places. Much because obviously the LA is more of an American team, and I think diversity was the key component to that to that unity.
Mm-hmm.
It came very natural. That's the thing. Despite the language barrier and things like that, that was very nice. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't have to do much. I
Do you
didn't have
think
to do much.
do you think that happened because you guys naturally have like a really good chemistry within the team, or is it just that everyone has been on lockdown with these quarantines and so on for so long that everyone just was open to new experiences, open to making new friends, and that kind of all aligned?
I think both. Why not? I can talk for I can speak for other people, but I do believe it's a little bit of both. And like I said, Ryan and I didn't have to do much on this team. It was very natural. And obviously, some of us came back from season one, and so we already made those relationships. And it all depends on the people. And if you're someone that is very individualistic, no, that's not English. It's still
Individualistic, yeah, for sure. It's
oh,
English.
okay, that was English. Cool. Gotta try it out sometime. Um, I say you obviously can be in the ISL and stuff, but things get a bit complicated. This is all about team. And if you don't get that, then there's an issue. And that's the main thing that we brought up. The only thing I actually brought up is just I want this team to be a team. And even though we are team, we have been nominated team captains, I mean, everyone has things to say. We just want everyone to speak up, everyone to give their inputs, feedbacks, everything. So that's the main thing for me. Everyone has to be even. There's no. We are leaders. That's the thing that we talked about with Ryan. We just want everyone to be a leader in this team, and that's what happened. So sometimes it was funny because during meetings, David Marsh will try and make someone speak up, maybe someone that doesn't speak English very well, like people that just are shy or don't speak very much, to try to give them the opportunity to just say what they have to say. And it was just very like fun moments. I know how hard it is to speak when you just not sure about your English. And even now, look, 7 years later, I'm still making mistakes when I speak English, but I'm past that now. So it was super
Beryl,
cool.
your English is close to perfection. Come on, man.
Thanks. So yeah, the staff also really was played a big role in that. We really, I mean, not everyone, but I feel like people in general tend to underestimate the value of the people. Like, for example, the kine, like a massage person, the people that you see just maybe before you go to race, because they are just used. There's just everyone is so important. You know, we tend to see always the athlete and their coach. There's so much more around. There's so many people. For example, I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm trying not to go all over the place. I'm gonna stop here.
No, for sure, and I'm glad you mentioned this thing that everyone is a leader on the team. I was fortunate enough to have Murph as my senior when I was a freshman,
Yeah.
and this is one thing he focused on quite a bit also, and I think that's some great words of wisdom, and I'm so glad this worked out for LA Current, because it clearly did. Um, but Beryl, I kind of want to ask you maybe a bit of a controversial question, and I hope you don't take any offense to it. But Beryl, why LA Current? Because there is a Parisian team, Energy Standard, and I believe you were born in Marseille, right?
Yes.
And the head coach of Energy Standard is James Gibson, someone who trained in Marseille, who actually coached in Marseille for a little bit. It seemed like it would be the natural pick for you. And Energy Standard is a team, I mean, I don't want to say that everyone wants to swim for,
better than LA Current. You can say it. It's the
but
truth.
they were the champions of last year, for example. And yeah, it's a huge team. Why LA Current?
Well, in due respect to Energy Standard, the great team, obviously, like champions of the first season and everything. But for me, what people might not know is that for the first season, no one reached out to me, which I understand. I had a lot of health issues, so I wasn't able to race short course. And then, I mean, people didn't really know me, not that they do now, but yeah, no one really thought about me, and that was a bit hard on me because I was still struggling with things. And I went up to my coach. I'm taking you back in time. I went up to my coach, so Jason, and I said, "Hey, like, I don't understand why no one reached out to me. I'm pretty good in the waters. I think I could do great things short course." And he trained Ryan Murphy from Bowes and people like that. So he contacted a couple of people, and then Ryan directly, passed that along to Lenny, And then they contacted me and said, well, why don't you have a team? We're interested in you. David Marsh, I think, knew who I was, or also Brett Ark, from NCAA's, when I was with A&M, part of the team. So they took, I think they had only one spot left. I was the last one. I think I was the last girl. So they just took a chance on me in a way, They may not have a lot to lose, but they gave me the chance no one else wanted to give me. I had called James before because, I knew him. He said maybe for the team. Well, I mean, the team was full. He said maybe, maybe not. Other people didn't let's say, reply to me, things like that. I was a bit late in the game as well. So anyways, they took a chance on me, and that's something I will just not forget. I would just never forget. They took that, and I'm guessing they did not regret it because we talked about it after season 1, and I was super grateful for that. When it's important for me that when I just remember the people that believe in me when no one else did. That's very important. And Jason is one of them. My coach, Phil, my strengths coach, is one of them. At some point, I could not even pay him, things like that. They just took a chance of me. And I'm just very loyal to things like that. Even though I know with the ISL, it's a game, and it's like kind of NFL draft and things like that. At least for going in from season 1 to season 2, I didn't see myself going anywhere else because these people are the only one that believed in me. So that just came naturally to me to go back with like current. And I love the staff. That's something that I will not really change. I knew that. So while changing something that went super well, and I felt very. They just made me feel very good. We were only, I think, 7 or 8 foreigners in a team with 21 Americans, something like that. And I just felt like home, obviously, because, I live in the US and stuff, but still, I felt very good. So, yeah, that's why. As simple as it is. Yeah, it's just, I just remember what people do or don't.
And I think that is a great quality to have as a person, because I mean, the way you treat people, and if you treat them in the same way with reciprocity in a way, it's great relationships. And I believe James has his biggest regrets regarding you and Emre Sakci. I believe he's biting his elbows right now. But with this being said, Beryl,
but I mean, I have no, let's say, no anger or nothing. Like he had a great team, and I mean, it is what it is. But
of course, for sure.
I mean, he actually came up to me, and he said he was not regretting, but he was like, man, I missed out on that. Super sad, and we just talked about it. So I really like James. So.
Mm-hmm. No, James is a great guy, but I'm sure he regrets this decision. You could be the deciding factor between Cali Condors and Energy Standard this season, potentially. But Beryl, before we move to the Blitz, I have one other big question I wanted to ask you, and this is a question I'm quite excited about, because typically when I have podcasts, it's with 2-3 people, sometimes 4. And I don't get too specific with people, but I feel
today
like
we're
with
on
you,
a date. We're on a podcast date.
And I can get very personal. I absolutely love it. A date with Beryl Gastaldello. I had no idea what I'm signing into today, but I'm very happy.
That's funny.
Beryl,
right, go ahead.
I want to ask you, what keeps you in swimming? What is your biggest motivation? Why do you do this? Because you achieved quite a bit in swimming, and you're a very smart individual, and I believe you could have succeeded just about anywhere elsewhere. And you had a bit in your career where things seemed like they weren't going quite your way. You're a very competitive swimmer. You're in the international stage since 2012, but you didn't really get the success you were getting in the past 2 years previously, yet you stuck with it. Why?
Well, first, thank you. Very kind words. I'm learning how to take nice things in now, so this is new, but thank you. Um, I'm going to be very difficult with myself, and that's something I'm working on, but it's the truth. I don't believe I've achieved anything crazy. Let's be honest. Specifically in terms of individual or in relay medals at the high levels, meets more like world championships or the Olympics. So for me, I've not achieved a lot of things. Just honest with myself. I'm a bit hard, I guess, for some people, myself, but yes, it's true. I went through a lot of different things. I had mononucleosis for 2 years. I had Lyme disease. I lost my dad 2 months before the Olympics, and I quite more than that. So very difficult things to go through, including a big depression with anxiety for like almost 3 years that I'm just getting out of. So I learned a lot from all of that, and so I never found the translation, but we call it the translation will be the red line. Is in swimming. Basically, swimming was my constant. It's something that was always there, and that really helped me get through everything in a way. Even though at some point I couldn't even swim because I couldn't breathe, I couldn't live. But that's something that was my constant throughout all of those challenges, I'd say. And like I said, I just love the sport. My family is pretty much a swimming family, but I was doing track and field, gymnastic, aikido, things like that. And I chose swimming just because that's filled with the water. I just love being in the water. I was always getting yelled at or things like that when I was younger because I was always making bubbles, being underwaters. It took me a while until I started to train. I just wanted to play or dive instead of doing practices. I would negotiate. Lots of things happened, but I always had fun. And that's the main thing. I've always had fun. And I would be, it sounds like a bit, let's see, we're all a bit weird, like people don't understand. Swimmers are, obviously can happen with other sports or other things that people do, but people are like, you stare at the black line all day long, back and forth. Why do you like that? It's like, I don't stare at the black line. I'm just like in my head, I have a set, I like put the gears on or off. I'm thinking about my stroke, thinking about this and that. I meditate sometimes, lots of things can happen. So to summarize, I think the main thing is I'm having fun. It really helped me also. I'm someone that maybe you can see it. I have a lot of energy, and swimming is very good with taking quite a lot of energy out of you. So that will help me regulate a little bit. Um, and mainly, I'm just passionate. I just love the sports, and yeah, just the feel I have of the water is something that I really like. Uh, and I've been some people would ask me, so when do you think you're gonna stop, things like that. What are your plans? I have no idea. I mean, you can say what you want. Life can throw things at you that you stop in 2 days or you stop in 10 years. Good things happen, like the ISL. So yeah, I don't know if I answer your question. It's I just go all over the place in my mind, but basically I just loved being in the water, and I'm still having fun. I'm still discovering a lot of things. I'm actually learning a lot more about myself, even as a person and as an athlete in this past month. So I'm not done yet. That's the thing, and I am far from being tired from the sport. I feel like I just started, to be honest.
Oh, wow.
I'm 25. I'm gonna talk about people. Like it's things that come to my ears. It's like, are you 25? So like next Olympics in 29, blah blah blah. It's like, true. I'm 25. I'm like, well, I don't know. I'm fresh. I feel like I'm 50. I've never swum a lot in my life. I don't. Yeah, I feel fresh. And actually, neurologically, I think that's it.
Neurologically?
Thank you. That was a rough one. I'm not even at my peak yet. 25. That you peak yet. So it's super exciting. That's kind of like the old mindset of saying 25 you're getting old and things like that. So I don't agree with that. I like to be different no matter what anyway. So if you think that and I prove you wrong, I'm happy. No, so I feel super fresh and I love the sports and I'm still having a lot of fun. So that's why I kept swimming through all of that, all those reasons.
Hey, Beryl, next time someone tells you you're too old to swim when you're 25, point a finger at Nicolas Santos and stay. I still have a minimum of 15
Exactly.
years left in me. Don't count
Yeah,
me out too early.
everyone is so different. Like we all have, it all depends of so many factors. Like, and nature versus nurture. It's, I mean, crazy. For example, we're so different. The main thing is just being open-minded that everyone is different, and that's the difficult things to do. When you don't accept people, like you accept them or not. We all have a past. We're acting the way we do for a reason. I'm myself, like I'm doing self-development all day long. That's the main thing that I'm doing. Um, and obviously, I'm like, sometimes I fail, sometimes I succeed. I don't like to fail, but that's part of it. And apparently, when you fail, you actually learn faster. So the faster you'll fail, by the way, because I'm reading a book about failure right now. I'm trying to start and read more. The faster you fail, the better you're gonna get.
Is that the Happy Warrior by any chance?
The book that I'm reading? No, it's in French. Les Vertus de l'échec.
Okay.
I think it's English. Virtue, right? Virtues.
Yeah, Virtues.
Failure. Yeah, that's the name of the book.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just it's super exciting, to be honest.
Thank you.
And
Thank you, Beryl.
yeah.
It's really interesting for me that you mentioned your love for the sport of swimming and the love for the water and for the actual activity and having fun. And you know what? Every single great swimmer I've asked mentioned that their main motivation in swimming is that just pure love for the sport and for the water. And I mean, if you look at majority of swimmers, typically the motivation is something like, oh, I want to be the best swimmer out there, or I want to push myself to my absolute limit. Or for some people, I just like the constant improvement. And sometimes they even...
That's not a constant improvement. Hey, first of all, they need to know that.
For sure. Come on, when you're 15, 16, it's constant improvement for sure.
Yeah, well, good luck when that hits you, because,
Yeah. And for pro swimmers, even when I try to sort of cheat with them a little bit and ask like, oh, which category do you fall into? Do you like training? Do you like competing? Do you like pushing yourself? They would get outside of the categories and say, actually, no, I do it because I love it. And it's I believe it's a very good advice for kids who are watching us. Because the main thing, if you want to be successful in swimming, and this is my opinion, and you can agree with me or disagree, is having fun and enjoying what you're doing. And it's such a cliche thing to say, but hey, it's working. Have a look at Beryl.
I mean, like I said, what I believe is that because everyone is so different, we may have different, obviously, motivations, and certain things resonate more or less depending on how you functioning. So for some people, maybe saying that they just love training because of their friends. It's a way of them, like, so there's different ways, but I think, yes, in general, it is important to love what you're doing, because unfortunately, we still have a lot of parents forcing their kids to do things because of their own maybe failure as kids, or because they just want the kid to be the best. And that's something that, I mean, the kid, it can happen, there's people that can make it, but they will never succeed if it doesn't come from deep inside themselves. That's something that is super important, in finding what is your intrinsic motivation deep inside. And so I believe, like, having fun and stuff, lifting for the water, I mean, like you said, it's probably the most common amongst good swimmers, but it can be different. I don't want people to feel like, oh, man, I don't think that, so I'm never gonna be good at swimming. I need to change it. No. You have to listen to how you feel inside and go with what you think is your best motivator, if that makes sense. So I think that's very important. But like I said before, you have to love what you're doing in a way. If you just hate it, you hate the routine, because we have the shiny side of swimming, like maybe succeeding at meets, going to ISL, Olympics, things like that. But there's a lot. It's like the iceberg, obviously, like everything. And behind that, and that was hard for me, for example, coming back to the US after like 2.5 months in Europe and all that, all the great things that happened there, you have to go back to that routine. Sometimes it's not fun. It is not fun. You're like, whew, most of us, we do that because we love racing too. So if you cannot race because of COVID now, you go back to that routine, it can get a bit boring, and then you get tired. There's negative things can come more easily that when you're like having a shiny moment out there, at meets with friends. And that's part of it. And if you don't accept that, you can just stop. High level is not gonna be easy. I mean, it's like everything. You have to work hard, and it's not always beautiful. Um, it's not always green, I guess you say. The grass is green.
Yeah, the grass
We
is not
say
always
pink
green.
in French. The translation is not. I will say. I will make mistake like that. I will be like, it's not always pink everywhere. So it doesn't translate, but that's like, yeah, it's not always green, I guess. I don't know if you say that, but yeah, it's very important to know it is not easy, especially in the US. Kids wake up super early for swim practice in here. It's like 4 a.m. they wake up, sometimes 5:30 in the water. So yeah.
Beryl, letting you know we're cutting this out and putting this as advice for younger swimmers and uploading to our social
Okay.
media. Thank you so much for this response.
Yeah, I don't know how you say in English. In French, you say my thoughts are in. I'm gonna try arborescence. Is it English? It's like a tree. Basically, you go from like the root. I'm thinking about something. There's a logic collection. So I go to that thing, and I kind of like forget about the question. So that's how my thought like works. That's why sometimes I'm like, I forgot what I'm doing.
Not to sound racist or nationalist in any way, but it's a theme with many French people. You guys are very bubbly, and your thoughts go in different directions a lot. It's actually really cool to have conversations with you guys.
I didn't know it was a thing that you notice amongst like Europeans, I guess, more, or French. That's funny. But anyways, that's why I'm saying that, because sometimes I'm so into something and I want to say something else. I'm like, I forgot what was the question or what I was talking about.
I understand. But Beryl, I have like 1,000 more questions I want to ask you, but I know you're a busy athlete, and I don't want to keep you on this podcast for too long. But I can't let you go without doing the blitz.
You actually woke me up.
I did.
That gave me energy. No, it's a good thing. I mean, I was I had to do all those paperwork stuff and all of that, and I was like, and then now I'm like all pumped. I'm ready to go for 10 hours. So.
All right. Does that mean I can get another question in before the blitz?
Oh yeah.
All right, Beryl, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe your strength and conditioning coach is also your significant other.
Wrong.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, don't worry. It was
okay.
I did weightlifting with him for a month. It was 3 years ago now, and it just didn't work out. We couldn't but things. That's something I don't really want to talk about in a way. But no, it's not. His name is Phil. He's my very good friend though. Very good friend.
Okay, I'm sorry for bringing this up.
No,
it makes sense. All right, Beryl. And another question: how did you actually get to start swimming? Was it through your swimming parents, or because it seems like you were doing quite a bit of sports to begin with?
I love that question because it's maybe everyone that have siblings can relate to that. So every year, it was my mom. She will sit my brother, because I have an older brother, Marvin. He's 4 years older than me. She will sit him and I down on the table, and she will ask, okay, what sports, so what things do you want to do here? Music. My parents have always been very open-minded, and we had to make our own decisions from a young age, which was very hard. hated them for that back in the days, and now I'm so thankful and grateful for that. Anyways, so and my brother would be like, one day say, I want to swim, I want to do swimming stuff, and as the young sister that looks up to her brother, I was like, me too. I want to do swimming. Like, just because Marvin is doing swimming, I want to do swimming too. That is as simple. Obviously, parents being swimmers and everything, but in general, it's very important to know how to swim. So when I was younger, I learned how to swim just like that. But when it came down to make a decision um, with commitment, let's say, I decided to do swimming and actually track and field. So I was doing both.
What did you do in track and field?
So at that, when you're young, you still do everything. You do everything. But I was already doing more like the 60, I think it's 60 meter, right? Oh yeah, 60 and 100. And I was doing the, when you jump, the hurdle.
Yeah, hurdle. How much?
I was.
Are you running hurdles, or do you jump over something, or are you jumping forward?
No, I was running with the hurdles.
Okay.
And I was actually pretty good at it. But in the winter, they will make us do, I think you call it that in English, cross country, when you run like 5K or so. And I hated that. And the meets were always at the same time at some point, same weekends of things. So I had to make a decision to what I'm choosing. My parents had hope. They're like, maybe you're going to go towards a different direction. Nope. I was like, no, I am done doing this cross country all winter. I don't like that. So I decided, and I just had all that feeling in the water and everything. So I just decided to swim. So that's all. It all started because my brother wanted to do that. That's kind of funny. It's typical. I feel like it's typical, younger kid to look up to their siblings.
For sure. I started swimming because my dad started swimming. I was this little kid that had a look and said, I want to do what daddy's doing. So there you go. Thank you, Beryl. And with
blitz, I don't know.
Yeah, let's get into the blitz. So the way
blitz, what does that mean? Is it just like,
we'll have approximately 10 short questions, and some of these questions will be like a yes or no question. Some of them you'll have to go a little bit deeper, but we can keep it very simplistic.
You
ready for this? All right.
Yeah, I can't stop smiling though. It hurts my cheeks.
You already got the lactic acid in your cheeks? Oh yeah.
I was trying to just stay super straight, and I go, yes. No.
Should we ask you serious questions this then?
No,
to do with life and death? And I'm kidding. All right, Beryl, do you have a pet?
2.
What are they?
You said short answer. I have 2 dogs.
2 dogs. What kind?
You want to see them?
Of course I want to see them.
Because they've been out for an hour. I was trying to make sure they're not going to go crazy in here. Because they're just like me. So they're a bit crazy time to time. All right. That's Looney. Come in.
Oh, what a doggo.
That's Looney. Oh, good girl. Good girl. That's a girl. And that's Goku taking the sun out there. Chilling.
Oh, he's enjoying himself.
Goku. Oh boy. Wait. Boy. Say hi, Goku. Oh boy.
Hey, Goku.
Yep. There you go.
Goku, are you a Dragon Ball Z fan?
Yep. Give me a high five. High five. Okay, Looney. Goku, give me a high five. Come on. Really, you gotta be doing me like that right now? Ha, you bad boy. Yeah, it's my boy. Looney's gotta give me a high five, right? Nah. She's too busy going crazy right now.
Any other anime you're into aside from Dragon Ball Z?
No, that wasn't me, to be honest.
Okay, fair enough.
But I thought that was a cool name. I really like it.
Goku is a great name.
Yeah.
On average, how many K do you train a day?
Oof. That's a great question. I have no idea because I'd never count. But Tuesday, Jason said it was the first time I did over 5K. So I'm guessing less than 5K.
You never count your workouts?
No, very, very, no, I don't.
Is there a
No.
reason for this, or you just never felt the need?
Um, I mean, the first time doing 5K since the ISL and everything. The reason is I'm trying to let like be loose on things like that because, like I said, I have two parts of me, and there's no point if I have to do 6Ks because I have to do 6K. If I have to do three, it's because I have to. This is, like I said, this is new for me, and I'm trusting Jason. So obviously, I think in his head, if he hears that, he's gonna see like she asked me a lot of questions. Sometimes, I don't doubt him, but we have to discuss things. But in general, I trust him and his work, so I don't count.
Makes sense. Thank you.
When you love, you don't count.
That is true. Time flies.
But I mean, if he says something like there's some sort of a kick set, and it's sneaky, you do 200 or 75, something like that, 4 rounds, just like that, you do like 1800. That I count. I'm like, wow, that was a solid 1800 kick like set, But that's it. It's
Okay.
it can be like that.
So when it gets super hard, you tend to sort of track down the effort a little bit more precise.
No, I was probably just I got a bit bored.
Okay.
Even though you have the efforts and stuff, still have kicking. Just sometimes if I don't know, I start thinking, I'm like, okay, let's count this. Just
maybe
busy.
maybe he should just make it kick underwater, and then there's no more room for thought. There's just survival.
Looney.
Beryl, next question. How many hours do you put into swimming-related activities in a week on average, you would say? And I'm talking about like strength and conditioning, probably physiotherapy, stretching.
All right. I need to think 2 seconds. So Mondays, let's see, average this. Tuesday, average this. So it's 6, then 7, 8, 30. I say 15 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, that's pretty. I mean, plus minus, 15 hours. So I spread my day. I only have one day off. I do lift on Saturday afternoon, like 4 to 7 p.m. Might sound crazy, but for me, it's sometimes, I was like, I would like a weekend, but I'm here for a reason. I'm not in Crest Station, Texas, to just be in Crest Station, Texas. Trust me on that. And so, yeah, I decided to spread things around to have better recovery, to be able to perform better. And so, yeah, so I'm able to. So I'm spreading those hours in 6 days.
For sure. All right. Thank you. 15 it is. Beryl, what is your personal preference? Long course meters, short course meters, or yards?
Rough one. The thing is, with the fun I've had at the ISL, I have to say short course meters. Yeah. It's so just more like...
ISL was the deciding factor.
Yep. And you know what I like? Let me be... So there's no short answer with me, I guess. But what I like about short course meters or short course yard is that with people like me, think a lot. In short course meters, things are happening very fast. And so you have to think about this and that. And right away, the wall is here, boom, boom, boom. And so I love it. It is much more entertaining to me. So that's something I'm working on for long course, because you have so much time to think about the weather and everything. You're not supposed to, but my brain tends to go those ways. So I'm working on that. It's getting better, but it's more fun for me, short course meters for the moment.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah, there's a lot more things happening in short course meters, I agree. But it seems like there's a lot of things happening in yards also, even more.
Yeah, exactly. So let me put some light here.
All right, thank you, Beryl. Next question: What is your favorite event to spectate in swimming?
Sorry, what's my favorite event?
To spectate, to watch.
Oh. I gotta be honest. I'm always honest, but I don't really... It's swimming. it's kind of weird. I love the sports and everything, but I'm not into like knowing times of people or things like that. But if I have something, it's hard to say. I say, I guess the 100 free,
100 free.
Yeah, the 100 free.
What about the skins?
I mean,
no one says the skins.
It's because the 100 free, but it's weird for me to. Oh, you're talking about the ISL?
In general, but ISL included.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, that's super fun. No, yeah. The skins is super fun. I thought we were talking about long course and everything, but it's kind of weird. I do like to watch the two fly, but I've never even swum the 200 fly in my entire life. I admit, never. But I like to watch it because it looks pretty easy. When the best swim it, and I'm just like, wow. I'm happy I'm not swimming that, but it's super cool to watch. So yeah, the two fly is kind of fun to watch.
I agree about the two fly.
Because you might expect someone to die, and it's funny if someone dies. It's horrible to say.
Exactly.
If someone, the 4 a.m. The worst thing for me is the 4 a.m. or the mile. Mile is too long. I lose it. Besides, when someone very fast swims it, but it's not often. And the 4 a.m. I'm just hurting for them. Like, man, I just feel that pain. I just really feel it. So that one hurts. The two fly is fun.
For sure. I love watching the two fly also. And I believe it's a psychological thing. I believe it's the same reason people like watching like cliff diving and stuff. Yes, sure, it's beautiful and there's so much skill involved, but psychologically, a lot of these people are waiting for someone to fail a jump and splash with their back on the water.
It's so bad to say it.
Same with the two fly.
We all a bit like weird like that.
Exactly, and you're sitting there watching like, this guy's starting with a 25. Like, is he gonna finish? Is he gonna stop at 175?
Exactly. You know what's not super fun to watch for me? Let's say that way. Another question, but it's the 53. It's kind of weird, especially for the men's. It's not super fun because it's so wavy, and you really can't see anything. Besides, if someone is much more ahead of everyone, it just, at least on deck, on TV everything's different, but on, it's like, I can't watch anything. That's frustrating, but it's a great race. It's too wavy.
For sure, too much splash. Yeah. Waves. It is. Sometimes you can't even understand who the hell won. Who the hell even got in the top 3? Sometimes you don't understand from the deck side. So I totally agree. Beryl, what would you say is your strongest event?
100 free.
100 free. What is your favorite event to swim?
I think you're having some sort of sound issues, no?
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Beryl, perfect. What is your favorite event to swim yourself?
100 free.
100 free, so both your best and your favorite. Okay, makes sense.
Yeah, it's new. I've always loved swimming free back and fly, 50 and 100. But I've discovered that the way that my motricity works and everything, it is more in favor of freestyle, and it shows. So it's more natural with the way I function. That makes sense to swim like freestyle. For more detailed stuff, but yeah. And I think I got a hold of it a little bit, and I think I have a lot to improve.
Okay.
And I guess my best event. I haven't been able to do much in the 100 fly yet, and backstroke is a bit behind as well. So I'm guessing those also will improve. Sometimes we improve on something. Oh, that doesn't make sense what I say. When you start focusing on things, that's when you improve on them. That makes sense.
When you stop focusing on things, this is when you improve on them?
It can happen, but for me, that happened quite often. Because sometimes when, for example, if you're a flyer, just to fly, at practice, fly, always fly. It doesn't, it just it just doesn't happen, you know. You sometimes you have to just take a different way, something different. Breaststroke is very similar to fly, doing a little bit of breaststroke or just something else, and then by stopping doing so much fly, that's when you're gonna actually improve. I actually found that out, and I thought it was very cool because I see a lot of people just staying on that wall and not making any change. And when you struggle, the first thing that should come in head is change. You have to change something. Yeah. So yeah.
Beryl, I think that's an excellent advice, and I felt that 100% when I was a swimmer myself. When you feel like you're stagnating in a stroke, you switch it to another stroke, you train the other stroke a little bit, you come back to your preferred stroke, and typically it gets better. It's like
It's just what happens.
Yeah. Thank you, Beryl. Beryl, did you have a childhood idol? And if yes, who was it?
No,
Okay.
it's kind of weird, I guess, because everyone I know had one. So no, even like people said Michael Phelps. No, I'm like no, I respect them, but I've just never been a fan or anything of anyone. But I would say my hero in a way was my dad. I figured that out not that long ago, but that was it.
Okay, thank you. Having your dad as your hero, I believe, is the most natural thing to be. This is how it's supposed to be in a way.
Yeah, I guess so. But yeah, no, I don't know why. It's a bit that weirds me out, you know. But I can't help it or invent things. No, I've never been a fan of anyone for some reason.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you, Beryl. And last question of the Blitz. What is your favorite team logo and team uniform? Counting out LA Current.
I don't know. Mm, I really like. I can be biased because I really like the people on that team and the staff and everyone. I really like the Cali Condors logo. Looks very cool. Near Breakers is sick as well. But the rest are not so crazy to me. Um, and yeah, well, besides that was what navy blue. No, navy blue is darker. The blue the Cali Condors was wearing was pretty good actually. It wasn't bad. Um, and they had a lot of gears outside of what the ISL gave, so that was cool. So I said just the Cali Condors. Yeah.
Hey, Cali Condors it is. Thank you, Beryl.
Shout out to my friends on the Cali Condors team.
Go Doors. Hey.
No. Go Currents.
Okay. I was actually involved with the Cali Condors before I got involved with the ISL globally, so I'm a little bit biased as well. But Beryl, with this being said, this about concludes the podcast. And before we sort of part ways a little bit, is there anything additional you would like to say to me? Or is there anything you would like to say to the LA Current fans? There's quite a bit.
Oh, yeah. Well, to you, thank you for having me. It was fun. I really liked all the questions you asked. I can tell we worked on it. They were very well thought of. And to the LA Current fans, thanks for supporting us. This team is gonna get better and better. You know, it don't always. I mean, people tend to go with the winners, but I think it's very exciting to pick a team and just follow with them, follow along their journey. So thank you for sticking around. We have a lot of fun personalities in this team, and I'm excited to see what we're gonna do next. Yeah, I don't know. I'm trying to be pretty involved also in the recruiting process. Um, that we'll talk about it with Lenny. I have ideas, and I haven't talked to him about. I've not talked to him about that yet. But obviously, I mean, they do the job very well. And so thank you everyone for supporting us. And I think you will be surprised. There's more to come from the.
Let's go.
Yeah. Stay
Beryl,
ready.
I got a hard no from the ISL officials to talk about recruiting and draft system before approximately mid-March. But I want to talk to you about it really bad. Could you please make it to a following podcast sometime soon? Because it would be a pure goal to talk about recruiting with you.
Yeah, but obviously I'm not in charge at all of recruiting, but I'm just, since I really love this team and I want to be very much involved, and I think I can bring different inputs and perspectives as everyone. Obviously, everyone can bring that, um, and it's so cool to me. Trust me, I would love to have a job in the ISL later on and things like that. Like I just love it. It's not it's just the fact. I just love the concept and everything. Um, Even though French people did not make the best representation for many reasons, I would like to not be associated with those behaviors. By the way, yeah, because it's not the great image. But yeah, so I'm excited. We could talk about